Market is open. Oh, I got a bad fill. Yeah. Yeah, we might get a breakout here. Frick. Maybe not. No, market's a little bit weaker. I'm gonna just stay. Not gonna rush into this. A little bit of heat there. Wow, back up. Oh, ooh, I gotta get. I guess that's not a bad fill. Ah, shit. I have to cut that for a bigger loss. This feels already a lot like yesterday. Starting in the hole. Starting in the hole, 330 bucks. Gosh darn it. This thing is, this does not give me any, this does not give me any desire to trust this. But just, wow. Wow, that's just brutal. That's short sellers being aggressive. I'm not liking this one. Hey, let's go. Let's see what's going on over here. Yeah, I missed it. I already missed it. Popped up like a... Maybe it's going to be a short day. Get out of here early. Forget this garbage. There it goes. That's... I wish that one wasn't so cheap. There, we made some money. $500. I always have a bad habit of walking away and then I miss stuff, so I gotta come back. The $500 might be all we can get today, so might just have to take that. A blackbird singing in the dead of night. There's a little bit of heat on this ticker. Yeah, I kind of missed that dip. There's a little bit of money on this one. This one's kind of coming up to $2 is WNW. What? I should have just held it. Stupid. Careful here. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. What the? I should probably have taken an entry down there, but I'm... Yeah. Should have. That was stupid. By golly, boy. Go to the doctor, man. Go to the doctor. No, what do I do? Do I trade this or do I trade that? Do you want this or do you want that? I'm afraid this thing might slip. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Okay, go back down. Go back down. I had to cut that. Wow, that was a pretty bad rejection there. They just follow me all over. That's all that happens. Wow. Oh, I can't make any money on this. It's brutal. Break of 2 potentially here. That could be a that could be a good thing. Oh. Spread my wings and fly. Okay, so also let's take a look at this. This one could be good. This one needs a little bit of something, like a pullback of some nature. 76 likes already. Thank you. WNW, yeah. This one. $135 here on NA. Nice breakthrough VWAP setup there. Oh. You gotta make sure you position yourself to be able to trade the full session. Wow. Shoot, this one really popped up. We might actually have to switch to NA. Let's go back to daily chart for a second. 228. Okay. Spread my wings and fly. Oh, I got screwed. Gotta cut that for a loss. 237 loss. That makes me a little bit angry. Wow. Wow. Absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. Pulse breakdown. No. Better stay out of this. Ah, NA. Hate you. I'm gonna get smoked. I gotta wait for a dip. Oh my gosh, I've lost $400 on this ticker. This is no joke. That is no joke. I do not like how that bid has been dropping out. WNW. Okay. Shoot. This thing might be done here. Coming back to WNW. Let's see if we get another drive back up. I'm up $800. Fortunately. Yeah, they're little buggers. That's what they are. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Wow. It was fighting there, but I'm afraid it might lose here. take these wings and learn to fly. So we're just sort of waiting here till we see something pop up. If you see something that looks good, type it into the chat box. I took a couple bad trades on it. Started off with a good trade. And quickly turned into a bad trade. That sucks. We might get a double bottom down here. It's a possibility. Hold down on this would be $1.35. Wow. Okay. I could try to go for a big trade on this one. See if it lands. Blackbirds singing in the dead of night. I can't do it. I can't sing. But I did go to a concert last night, which is good. NA's looking better. NA's looking better. We're going to come back to NA in a bit. Maybe I should go to NA. Yeah, wow, look at that. Look at that. Oh, wow. Shoot. Got a little bit of a rebound, double bottom here. Took it for barely any profit. Should have sold into that pop. I was holding for a bigger move. That did not work out. Should have sold into it. 66. Yeah. I do see A-Dill has this little bit of a bottoming tail going on here. I like, let's see. Will we get a rebound on A-Dill? Switching over to A-Dill for a minute. I would be careful of WNW. That's starting to fail. The Forerunner TRD Pro. Yeah, I've seen the new Forerunner. I like it. We'll see what the price is. I mean, I already have a decent Forerunner. Had to cut that. That stalled there too long. It might continue higher. That's too bad. I did not capitalize 100% on that. Oh, a little bit of a interesting. Yeah, I'm in a little late. Ah, shit. That rejected really quick. I got in way too high. I FOMO'd into that one. This one I would like to get my money back. But you know, if you're not making money on the ticker, it's best to just find something where you can make money. And that's, you know, one stock's going to be good for one guy and another stock's going to be good for another guy. So you got to kind of find what you like. I probably should not be in this. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. Oh well. It is what it is. That sucks. That sucks. It's not easy. Wow. Not easy. I didn't mind the pattern I bought, but taking 7,000 shares there was... Dang it. Dang it, bro. 16. This is starting to look not so good. This is starting to look not so good. What's heaven? I don't know. Yeah, I figured. Sometimes we get nice false breakdowns here. $207. I should have taken that trade. I did not. Oh, what a day. What a day it's been already. MDIA, yeah, I see it. Doesn't it looks a little sketchy. Oh, it had some nice action there, but I think I missed it. This is coming through high day, not. They gave me a penny. There we go. That gets my loss down pretty nicely. That gets my loss down pretty nicely. That was a nice trade through high day there. I thought that was pretty straightforward. Ross just took a short on it. Does Ross even short? Let's see how this interacts with the low of day. Sometimes we get bounces off low of day. So thank you everybody for hitting the like button. I just took the penny. If I get a penny, I do it. Anybody trade Tesla? That would be our poll. I liked how I was able to clean up the loss on what ticker was it? NA. Market is dead. $50,000 share buyer right there. Why would he put his order right there? Looks like it's coming through too. This thing just fell below 2. That might be the end of this. $1,800. Let's see what else we got. Spread my wings and fly. Anybody here know how to sing? I can play drums, but I can't sing. I can drive a tractor and play drums and day trade, but that's about it. Where's my high of day scanner? High CCT. Is that actually doing something? MDIA for a while was, yeah. Okay, this one. Jeez. By golly. Watching this ticker, see if we can get some money on it. This seems a little dangerous. That feels ready to fall down. Okay, got my loss back up on this. Maybe I should pump the brakes. That might... That's probably the entry down there. Yeah. I should have taken that. Hold on, I see something kind of interesting over here. Really? Really? There goes $30. Where does that put me on the day? 1761. IFBD. Is that on our scanner? What's the float? Micro. This looks a little untrustworthy. Yeah, those spreads on this one are dangerous, so I don't know if this is something I would recommend. Buying into resistance never works. Let's see if it has more in it. I had to cut that. I had to cut that. Shoot. Shoot. For a second there, it was a $600 trade on that pop. I didn't take it. The thing with the IFBD is it looks strong, but I think it's going to be a bit dangerous. I think that one's going to be a bit too dangerous to trade. Ah, frick. I need to get better. I need to get better. This we could wait for a false breakdown. Yeah. This one, I don't know. This one I'm mad about. Could have made more money. Could have made a lot more money. We got bid support here. Shorts hopefully get pinched here, and we'll see if they stop out. We'll see if we accelerate on price. I dumped it. Is IFBD heating up? Yeah, it is. What? That's all I got? What? I think they're healthy. I think that's healthy. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Spread these wings and learn to fly. Adil, let's see what Adil. Let's see if Adil has a rebound in its bones. Yeah, someone sang it last night. Ah, double bottom. This one I'm gonna try to hold. Take that. Good morning, Mikey T. IFBD is interesting, but it's a little extended. What's the daily chart show on it? What? The fills on it are not that great, though. I have to admit, the fills on it are not that great. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Hey, you want to come over here and sing this for us? This is a real interesting pattern here. Look at this. This might take off for a bit. Maybe not. Maybe not in this market, it won't, but I'll take a random trade here. Let's see if we get a break through that level we did. Ha! Did you see that? That's why I put my order on the ask sometime. The ask is at 212 and it didn't budge, but then it filled my order at 214. I never really ever see that happen. Once in a while, but like, what happened? How was it that the bid was, or the ask was 212 with about 10,000 shares, and then it fills me at 214? It's a good thing. I guess it's like a reverse. What's the reverse of a bad fill? I guess a great fill. Yeah, I guess a great fill.
Oh, are you selling?
I had my order at 214. The ask was at 212. Big seller holding it down. And that seller never budged on my screen, but filled me at 214 as if it popped at 214. But the ask was still at 212.
Oh, I thought you were buying it.
No, I had a position I was green on it. So it's set at 214. It was stuck at 212. The seller never budged that I saw, but then it filled me at 215. All right, IFBD. IFBD. What's the daily? Okay. Nothing too obvious. Could be $8 today. That could be the top there, boys. That could be the top. Hey, dog, you need to go potty? You know what I should be looking at is Adil. Where's Adil? Yeah, it's not doing much. Let's go potty. Let's go outside. So we're just, oh no, we're actually right at 3,000. What's the halt? I don't know, actually. 720 halt up. Halt down 589. I just don't trust this. Just one big drop on this and I'm taking a $800 loss. You know. I'm going to bet that this thing just sells off from here. May not. And I'm going to have to watch it. I kind of hope it does sell off. We'll watch it. I'm rocking the 450 share size. We got 92 likes. We just need 8 good men to step up. Hit that like button. What?
And women.
And women. And women. Repeat. We have a woman in the building. She is demanding justice. Will we give it to her? You're cooking today. What time are you going? Leaving?
9:50.
And being back at what? Dang it. So you're not going to go to the airport with me? Spread my wings and learn to fly. I don't know, my Discord app on my computer just always glitches out. Good morning, good morning. Gladiator. Is that what we should watch today? Leaders of the armies of the North. Was his name Marcus Aurelius? Or what was his name? What was Gladiator's name?
Maximus.
Maximus. Maximus. Is anybody making money on IFBD? That's my question. Or is it just sort of dancing around and people are... I can smell that stuff from here. Did you put your granola in it? Is it good? Okay, I'll have to try some. Get out of here. You think you're funny or not? I got profit, but very little. We're up $3,000 on the day. Welcome, Richard. Thanks for joining. It's because of the people like you that I continue to do this. You gotta find joy in life, you know, outside of money. This is my come to Jesus moment. Let it go, guys. Just let it go. And the reality is, the less pressure there is for you to make money in day trading, ironically, actually not ironically, but it makes it easier, I think. If you got pressure on you to make this work, if you got pressure on you, that's not going to at least for most people, is not going to be helpful, especially in day trading, because it is a kind of it takes a while to learn lessons. For some lessons in day trading, it takes like 6 months to learn. And there's so many different lessons to learn. And so, that's the danger of sizing up quickly, is you may have learned a couple great lessons, but you haven't learned every lesson there is. And the danger is that I'm going to go for it. Yeah, that failed. I shouldn't have. So you need time. I'm still learning lessons. I'm 4 years into this. I'm still learning lessons, still evolving. You're always slightly evolving. So oh, this stupid stock. Now I just fell below 3,000 on the day. Now I'm angry. I'm going to go down to 450 shares. Wow, that bid. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a flush here. Today just feels like flush. Flush central. Yeah, there's the double top. We'll see what it does. It's a bit erratic. It's all over. All over. I agree. I think trading is like playing a sport. If you play a sport nervous or tentative, you will not play your best. Yeah, exactly, Douglas. And similar, I didn't do too many sports. I did when I was younger, but I was a drummer, and I don't drum as much anymore at all. But back in the day, yeah, playing in front of an audience with a band. So I played drums at a church, basically a mega church. Okay, and so there was a lot of pressure, and I think as a high school kid, I let that pressure get to me. I didn't play as well as I could have. Some days I really just nailed it, but there was just a lot of pressure, And I'm not saying drums is the most important part of a band, but drums is fairly important. Like if your drummer's off, it's not going to be good, right? A drummer messing up risks the foundation of the whole song. So, So you got to find ways to take the pressure off trading. And when you're just starting out, your first 6 months, I mean, you got to just show up and have fun and take trades that are risky, but with small size. You have to have that freedom to just to take any trade you want and experiment, right? Of course, following my channel, looking at what I do is important, but you also got to do kind of your self exploration. You got to do that with small size. That's the main point. You know, that's one of the main reasons why I didn't buy a house my first profitable year of 50-50 scalping back in 2021. So people were like, "Oh, why don't you buy a house?" And it's like, well, I didn't want the added pressure. I knew that that could put me in a bad cycle. So, you know, luckily I was fortunate enough to have stumbled upon day trading while I was still in college, still a student. So I had the time to just pick at it every day a little bit. And then I started to get obsessed with it. You know, meanwhile, I'm going to college class and I absolutely just hate it, basically. It had its moments where I liked it, but I just remember sitting in college. And by the way, I met a kid in college that got me into day trading. I was doing a communications class where we have to do presentations. I did my presentation on making hay. I made it about the farm. I showed them the process of cutting, raking, and baling hay. Then I brought in some grass-fed beef jerky. That was my presentation. By the way, everybody loved it. You know, not to toot my own horn, but yeah. But then a kid two presentations later did a presentation on Thinkorswim, believe it or not. This is before I never had Thinkorswim. I was not a day trader. This was college. This was community college. And he did a presentation on Thinkorswim, and I said, I got to meet that kid. I got to talk to that kid, even though I don't like talking to people. I have to make it my mission to talk to that kid because I told myself in that moment, right? And I must have been hippie, stony baloney, you know, all mushroomed up. But I was like, little decisions have large impacts. That was my whole philosophy. And I said, and I thought this in my head, I said, if I don't talk to that kid, that could change the direction of my life. Or in the inverse, if I talk to him, you know, maybe by chance it changes the whole course of my life. And the reality was it did. That day, that morning, I went up to him after the class and I talked to him, afraid, because he was a kind of a scary looking dude. I'm not going to lie. But I talked to him. He was nice. He forced me to get Thinkorswim, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to have to do all that work, but he was like forcing me to download Thinkorswim, which was good. I needed that kick in the pants to finally go through the work. I was lazy. You guys are freaking lazy. Let's be honest. You're lazy. You're lazy. You're lazy. You're annoying. Everyone else I love. But I was lazy, and I'm annoying. Okay? But that little decision led to a big impact, right? And it's so crazy to think, and you just start small and you just take little baby steps, right? It's life, right? You got to live your life as if it's already a memory, right? Pretend that you're already 90 years old in your bed and you're about to die, but the doctor said, hey, you get a chance to go back to being 25 years old. I mean, how differently would you live your life in that scenario? You would probably try more things, take a little bit more risk. Not stupid risk, just a little bit more risk. So that was my mantra to get me to keep day trading was, one, I didn't want to work. Two, what would two be? I don't know. Two, I was going by my mantra of basically seize the day. Carpe diem. Because when I started day trading, there was no 50-50. There was no one trading like this on YouTube. But that's besides the point, right? We had Humble Trader, we had Ross, we had Live Traders, we had Ricky, right? We had Squirrel Trading, even though he is not a good trader. God bless his soul. but there was no guarantee that this was going to work. So I started in the same spot. And basically what I realized was if I was to become a day trader, the reality was it was probably going to take about a year. And to me, I was like, a year? I was like, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. But then I thought, either way, a year is going to go by. Either way, a year will go by. Either a year goes by while you're learning to day trade, or a year goes by while you're sucked into the matrix and you're on your way to a 9-to-5 prison. So I said, screw it. I said, life is a memory, right? I want to make decisions that I'll be proud of when I'm on my deathbed. And taking a risk such as this was sort of that mindset in play. And when I thought about how long it's going to take to learn, I said, to help me, accept it, I said, hey, either way, a year is going to go by, right? The days are long, the years are short, right? The weeks are long, the years are short. So I was like, look, we know how this works. I've been doing this over 20 times now, 20 years old, right? The years go by quick. It's like, before you know, it's like the end of the year, right? That was back in 2019. And I had a lot of false starts. Like, I didn't just jump right into it when I met that kid. I got into it, I got out of it, but then free commissions came along. Okay, and my timeline's a little screwed up here, but when free commissions came, that's when I was like, I got to get back into it. That's when I got back into it a lot more hardcore, and I started to do it in a better way. Wasn't perfect because I had to make adjustments, had to make a lot of adjustments. I started at zero. I started at square one. Right? And when I began that journey in 2019, I was like, man, this is I don't know if this is even doable. It was ridiculous. And when I started telling the people about how I was going to be a day trader, everybody laughed. Most everybody just chuckled. RETO, ticker symbol RETO. That doesn't look so good. 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 All right, Blair, take it easy. Small green day for you. Sweet. Dude, Blair's just killing it. I don't know what else to say. What the heck, Pennies? That's such an interesting story. I almost can't believe it. It's like, why would you be teaching people about wine in 7th grade? Were you already like a low grade alcoholic by 7th grade? It's probably not a laughing matter. I'm sorry. All right, see ya. Dump every girl that gives me a headache. I agree. I've been in too many relationships where it's like it's going nowhere, but she's hot. Maybe not hot, but am I allowed to even say that anymore? Are we allowed to call women hot, or is that in some way or form degrading? Is that not politically correct? I don't know. But, I came to the point where it's like, no, you're crazy. You're crazy, and I know I'm not going to be happy with you. I'm sorry, sweetie. I'm sorry, sweetie. I don't hate you, but I can't put up with these mood swings, which after dating for a while, I'm starting to realize like every woman, most every woman, it gets moody. And it's a lot of times over the dumbest things. It's like it's one thing to be moody and then have like a solid reason, but then there's another when you're getting grumpy over little stuff, and it's like, come on, bro. That's when I start talking about life is a memory, and you only live once. I give that to my girlfriend all the time. I get all philosophical with her, but all of it just goes right over her head. I'm saying, hey, look, I know what you're feeling now, but you got to understand that's just a blip. That's just a blip in your life. You're gonna have, there's gonna be hiccups in life. There's gonna be turbulence, right? You can't avoid it. And the same thing with trading. You can't avoid losses. Sometimes big losses. So roll with the punches. Enjoy the bad times. And of course, as soon as I say that to my girlfriend, she's like, oh shit the hell up. Then she goes on harassing me, calling me names. So I don't know how many of you guys listening to me right now will succeed. I think that if you do it right, you don't lose too much money, you go slow. You start in a simulator, hopefully, for a little bit. You stick with it. You never give up. You can do it. But that's assuming you can develop the discipline. Some people I believe just cannot. Like they cannot. Some people I'm just like, dude, you either get the discipline or you get out. I'm sorry, sweetie. I don't hate how I was going to be a day trader. Everybody. Most people will blow up before, their time will shine. Right when I was about to quit, or when I felt the most urge to quit, was right when I turned the corner. Right? That was November 3rd, 2020. Right? That was after I had started in October 2019 simulator up until April 20. I remember it was 420, right? Everybody was blazing it. On April 420, 2020, I went real money using about 300 shares. Because we had just gone through a hot market and I was doing well in the simulator. So I said, time for real money. I had like an $8,000 cash account. Within my first 2 days of real money, I lost $700, which isn't a lot for some, but for me at the time, that was a lot of money. And so from there, I had to I stayed real money, but I lowered size. And I grinded from April 420 till July 1st when I broke even. At the time, it didn't feel like success, but looking back, that was success. July was when I had a week where I made $600 and I was like, wow, this is amazing. I'm doing great. I was excited. And then on the last week of July 2020, I gave it everything back. I lost like $200 every single day. And I was back to zero. And then in August, I went up $200-300. End of August, lost it all. Went up in September, $400-500, lost it all. Went up in October, $400-500, lost it all. That's when I was about ready to quit. And I said, something has to change. I'm practically in tears. I'm about ready to graduate college. I told everybody I wanted to be a day trader, and I'm still not succeeding. That's when I said, okay, let's change everything. Let's go look at the stats. Look at the stats. And looking at the stats for me was quite simple. I just looked at my profits and I said, look, farmer, you have traded for 14 months, 6 months real money, 7 months real money. You have not made a single dollar. I think I was down 50 cents. Said you had not made one single dollar. And since I was about ready to quit, I decided, well, shoot, I can either quit or let's try to at least make something. And in this case, it was just $1. So I brought my share size down from 300. I brought it to 25 and 50. Took a lot of the same trades. But now it changed to where I'm taking my entries with market orders and I'm getting out with market orders. I just simplified. I said, hey, I'm just going to get in. I'm going to get right back out market orders, right? If I get in, it's not working, I just cut it, right? That's 50-50 technique. It's not Ross Cameron technique, right? I was used to trying to do Ross. I was used to trying to do Ricky, Live Traders, and Humble. I tried. Wasn't until I actually sat down and was like, okay, let's try something new. Let's just take a ton of trades, right? Humble's traders saying, oh, less trades, more money. Ross is saying less trades, more money. How about this? Let's take a ton of trades. Right? And what that did was I wasn't fearful anymore of the market because I was using 25 shares. I didn't care. I'll get in on the giant flush. I'll get in and see if it pops up. I don't care. It's 25 shares. Anyways, that's when I started to get more comfortable with the dips. And I stuck with the principle of market order in, market order out against all the teachings of any guru out there. That's when I started to find the consistency. That was November 2020. And then November 2020, slowly but surely, $20 here, $30 there. I found that consistency. I started to respect my max loss actually for once. And guess what happened? My P&L over the course of weeks started to go up smooth. And it was easy. It wasn't stressful. Right? Once I started to do that, then it felt like a light bulb. Then I funded my account with my last remaining farm money. And I got right up to about $26,000 in my TD account, my entire net worth. I said, this feels right. I've traded a month. I haven't blown up. And so I funded my account. And anyways, it was December 2020 and I was still doing small size. And then on one Friday, I hit max loss and I was triggered because it was one of those things where it was like I went green to red or something, I think. And since I already had a PDT account, I basically just said, screw it. And you guys have seen me do that. I still do that kind of stuff. I did that on the day. I lost $6,000. I traded all day long. That was a day where I just said, screw it. Well, same thing happened to me December 11th, 2020. I said, screw it. I'm just going to take 1,000 shares on the dip and we'll see if it pops back up even just 2 cents. I'll take it. That's $20. Took 1,000 shares, pops up. I think it popped up 8 cents or something. $80. Marketed it out. It made $80 like that. Like that. Like that. And so I rolled with it that day. I said, I'm going to trade the same way as this, as if I'm with 25 shares. I'm going to take a little bit of risk. Plus, I was already triggered. But then I was green again all of a sudden. I was like, whoa, that was pretty easy. Let's wait for another dip. Another dip. Boom. Made money. Boom. Anyways, I made $300 that day, and it felt like I won the lottery. I remember going to McDonald's, and I bought 2 breakfast sandwiches, which at the time I could not afford to do that. But because I had made $300, I felt like I was rich. So I took my sister to McDonald's and I was telling her, I was like, I made $300 today. And she's like, oh, wow. Well, that was a Friday. And I said, okay, I'm going to try it again on Monday with the bigger size. I'm going to start small, 25, 50. But if I feel the rhythms there, I'm going to go up. Went up to 500. Next thing you know, I was at 1,000. On that Monday, I made $800. And I think on that day, I was like, I knew on that day that I had something. This was the very beginning of the 50-50. This was the beginning of the way I trade. Call it whatever you want, but this was my technique. Taking a lot of trades. So anyways, that's how I sized up. And then that week I traded and I made $3,600 that week, which at the time was mind-blowing. And I stayed with that share size. I stayed with it. I said, I was like, I have something here. Let's stay with it. And I did. And through January, I was doing really well. And then one day I snowballed, classic snowball day. I mean, just lower and lower and lower I went. I lost $2,600 that day. And that was tough. That was a tough day. I was very sad. That was a lot of money for me to lose at the time. I had maybe made $10,000-$15,000 day trading, so it was like I was up. But that was my test. And I said, this is a test. It's $2,600. That's big, but you know, you're still green. This is a test. Let's come back tomorrow. Let's go slow. Let's go to defense. That's what I did. The next day I made like $500. And the next day I made $500 with small size. And within a week, I think it took me about a week, but I climbed out of that hole. I proved I could do it. I proved that I could get knocked down and that I could come back even with big size, because I knew how to handle it. I knew what to do. I knew not to give in to emotions. I learned that because I had done 14 months, 15 months of boot camp. I was prepared. So anyways, I climbed out of that hole and I just kept going and I never looked back. And that was 2021. In 2021, I learned a lot of lessons. I had one day I lost 15 grand in July of 2021. I was red that month. That was my first like red month after becoming profitable. That was very painful and a very long month of suffering. So I see some of you new traders suffering and going through weeks of struggle. I'm like, look, I did it too, right? What are you going to do to get out of it? What lessons are you going to pull away from? This is a learning experience. And so that month I lost 15,000 in one day and I lost 5,000 the whole month. I learned a lesson. It was painful. August went great until the last day of August, or was it the last day of September? I took another $12,000 loss on a very similar situation as the time I lost 15,000. I thought I had learned my lesson in July of 2021, but in September of 2021, on the last day, I lost 12 grand. That day I cried. Not all day long, but I got into my Mustang and I put it in for, it's a 5-speed, but I just got on the road and I just took off. I drove like a half hour away from home. I had just lost 12 grand. I was just like, dude, what are you doing? I was like, this is too much. It's like, you got to get it together. And I did. That it was so painful and so, for me, even though I had already made maybe 150,000 or 100,000, taking that $12,000 loss on the last day of the month on a crappy day, I mean, what? You just wouldn't even believe it. And I cried. But I learned a lesson. I came back stronger. And I haven't had a day where I've lost more than $10,000 since. I've gotten close. I've had $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 red days. I haven't crossed the 10,000 again. I've done that twice in my career. And the second time I did cry. That was how painful it was. That's how, I guess, how frustrated and emotional I was. And so the lessons, you constantly keep learning lessons, right? I used to trade halt resumptions all day long. Back in the market was hot. I don't do it as much anymore. Why? I've learned my lesson. Eventually, if you get sucked into buying all these halts, eventually you're going to get sucked into a halt and you're going to get screwed. It's going to resume like $4 a share lower and you're going to get absolutely obliterated. And that's what happened to me. I took too many halt resumption trades that I just got absolutely destroyed on. And honestly, I had a lot of halt trades that I did really good on. I made a ton of money. But, you know, that's just one example of me like kind of evolving. It's like, you know, yeah, that resumption could be good, but I don't want to deal with the risk. I'm too old for it. But anyways, that was 2021. I ended up making $315,000 in 2021 with the 50-50 in and out scalping, right? Back then I wasn't taking 30,000 share positions. Back then I wasn't doing what I was doing now. I guarantee you back in 2021, if this market came to me, I would be break even. I mean, I was such an inexperienced trader. I could not pull money out of a slow market. And that's why I've had to adapt new other techniques than just the quick dip and the rip, right? The in and out. Some traders, that's all they focus on, right? They came to my channel. They liked that part of my style of trading. They took that and they took it and they're trading it and they're doing well. And that's fantastic. Okay. That's all I'm going to say about that. There's a lot more I want to say, but you know, and then 2022, I was like, look, I recalled all the lessons I learned in 2021. I said, let's just do better. And sure enough, 2022, I just took off. I was disciplined. I had my timer. I was trading 1 hour a day only. Right. You know, in March of 2022, I made 75 grand, which was surreal. February of 22, I started my YouTube channel, posting a little bit of snippets. Right. June of 2022, that's when Mighty Stocks found my channel. Probably one of my first fans. I mean, I can't stress that enough. I mean, the first person that come to my channel and comment every day saying, you know, they love what I'm doing, that they want to be like me, was Mighty Stocks, you know, and we were friends.